From the audience? There's okay. What I'd like to do now, can you hear me without the microphone? I need the microphone. All right. I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. I'm going to share a quote. Whatever it is that you want, you can achieve. You must take action, never give up, and always believe in yourself. These are the words of Tanner Gers, our keynote speaker. He is a Paralympian, blinded at age 21 in a car accident. He is a long jump gold medalist and a most valuable player, National Deep Basketball Association. He began competing in track and field events and won gold in the long jump at the 2012 U.S. Paralympics track and field trials. Excuse me. He most recently competed in the long jump at the 2012 Paralympics in London. Mr. Gers is a motivational speaker who believes success is in the pursuit of happiness. He will share his inspiring story and positive outlook with us all. Let's have a rousing round of applause for our keynote speaker.
All right. Who's excited about being here today? Excited too. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to be here, but before I get started, I really want to thank the SunnyVail Transition Committee, Jane Irie, and Voc Rehab for making it possible for us all to be here today. And like Bob was saying, this is an opportunity to learn and to find out something about yourself so that you can use that and move forward in life. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, before I start telling you about my story, my journey, my struggles, my achievements, my triumphs, I want to tell you something, I want to share something with you that I really believe will help you get the most out of my talk, and it may even change your life. You know, when I was a freshman in high school, all I could really think about was 4 more years. I got 4 more years of homework, class, tests, papers. That is a long time. It's quite a long time. But then, as I was a senior in high school, I was putting on my cap and my gown, and I was getting ready to walk across that stage and hold that diploma that I'd been working on for 4 years. Everything. All I could think about as my high school memories flashed before my eyes, that went by fast. That went by really fast. And that's what happens when we become adults, when we start maturing and getting a little bit older. You will find out that time flies by faster than you ever thought possible. It does. And so, that's why I want you guys to start getting committed today. Start getting committed to the present moment. I cannot emphasize enough how important this moment, the moment that we find ourselves, the present, how important that is. Yes, we can always look to the past and be grateful, appreciative for all the lessons and experiences, everything we've done to get us to today, to right now. And we can always look to the future, thinking about our goals, what we want to achieve in life, living our dreams. That's important. But it pales in comparison to being committed to the present moment, one step at a time. Being your best in every single moment that you find yourself. That, just like time, that is how you achieve success faster than you ever thought possible. So it wasn't too long ago that I was in your shoes. I was in high school, getting ready to graduate, and I had big, big dreams. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was going to go to ASU, and I was going to study business. The entrepreneurial spirit has been burning inside of me ever since I was a child. You name it, I was doing it if it meant revenue, making money. Lemonade stands, bake sales, washing cars, mowing lawns. Heck, even when I was in middle school, at the end of lunch hour, I would go around to the different tables and take donations from the kids who didn't want to take their tray back, because I gladly would. Anything to make some money. I was committed. So when I got up to ASU, I was really excited about that opportunity. I was an adult living on my own for the first time. Living in a dorm room with other students, other like-minded individuals. It was an exciting time. Palo Verde, Maine was the name of my dorm. I was just a couple hundred yards from Arizona State football stadium. Every time we scored a touchdown at a home game, they let off the loudest, most explosive cannon. It shook every window in my dorm. You knew when we scored. I was also just a couple hundred yards from the fraternity houses, the men's fraternity row. And you could hear those parties going on every weekend. You could hear those too. It was really exciting. There was over 40,000 students at that time going to ASU along with me. There were so many people to meet, things to do, activities to get involved in, and I wanted to do them all. It became kind of distracting for me. Everything that was going on. I wanted to do it all. And as a matter of fact, I lost focus of why I was up there at ASU. I forgot about how I wanted to be a businessman. I forgot about how quickly high school went by. And 4 years, how quickly that goes. I'm going to make myself a little vulnerable right now. I'm going to tell you guys about my mistakes, the things that I've experienced, because I want you guys to learn from them. You do not have to go down that same path. I wasn't committed, but today is your opportunity to start getting committed in this present moment, right now, wherever you find yourself. I got caught up. Instead of doing my homework, instead of going to class, instead of writing the papers, instead of studying for the test and putting my best foot forward, being the best person that I could be in every single moment, I got caught up with that party style, that party lifestyle. Anything school related, I'll get to that later. I'm going to have fun right now. Isn't that what college is about? Having fun? That's one small, minuscule aspect of college. That's one minuscule part of what I was there to do. I was there to learn business. And so, if it wasn't at a fraternity party, or the dance club, or a house party, I was making a party in my dorm room, and everybody knew that. I became that guy. You might know somebody like that right now. The party animal guy. That's who I was. And I'm not telling you this to brag. Far from it. I'm quite embarrassed of my time up at ASU. Because I ruined an opportunity. Distractions will get in your way. Whether you're in college or you're in the workforce. Whether you're at home or whether you're trying to start a business. Distractions will get in your way, and they will take over your life if you let them. If you forget about the commitment of the present moment. And being the best person, the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So I'm quite ashamed of that time up at ASU. You know, it was no surprise to anybody that at the end of that first semester, I had only passed one class. I'd never failed a class in my entire life. But after this one semester, I failed 4. 4 classes. In fact, I was on academic probation. Arizona State University told me if I don't get committed, if I don't get serious about what I'm doing, they're going to kick me out. If I don't start doing the homework, going to class, writing the papers, doing the test, and being the best version of myself, I'm out of here. That was humbling. So then I started to notice some things. Started to notice some things about the people that I'd been hanging around with. The people that I thought were my friends, the people that I thought believed I was cool. That wasn't the case. Because when it was time for me to get serious, and time for me to do the homework, for me to study for the test, for me to write those papers and to go to class, there was no one but me. I didn't have the support. And that's what happens when you get older. When you become mature and an adult, is that you have to be committed to yourself and what you want to do. Ask yourself, what do I want from life? What do I want? The straw that broke the camel's back for me up at ASU, what pushed me over the edge, was on my 19th birthday. Like I was saying, I thought I was creating all these friends, these lifelong friends. And on my birthday, all I wanted to hear was happy birthday. And so I stayed in my dorm room and I waited by the phone. I waited all morning and afternoon and into the evening. I was waiting, staring at the phone. And it never rang. It never rang. They didn't really care about me. Those distractions, those parties, those people. They didn't care about what mattered to me, what I wanted. I just wanted to hear happy birthday. So the very next day, I packed up my stuff and I went home. I went home. I was sad, I was depressed, I was lonely. I was off my path. I wasn't committed to my dream anymore. What I wanted to be since I was a child. An entrepreneur. A businessman. No one ever called when I got home either. I was lonely. You know, you may not be going to college after high school. It's not for everybody, believe me. I know. I experienced that firsthand. But whatever it is that you decide, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, if you're going to be an artist and create beautiful pieces of artwork, if you're going to be a musician, if you're going to be a volunteer, if you're going to help your mom and dad either at home or at their job, whatever it is that you decide to do, stay true to that commitment. Stay true to yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be in every single moment that you find yourself. There's going to be distractions. There's going to be times of difficulty and hardship. You will see them. You will face them. They will come. But how you decide to act and take action in every single moment that you find yourself, that is what is going to determine your level of success in life. Those dreams that you have, they will only be dreams if you don't take action and stay committed to them. And you stay committed right now, in the present moment. You know, it took me 2 years before I found my purpose, my why, that new commitment to myself. 2 years at home, living in Tucson. I knew that I wasn't ready to go back to college. I knew that wasn't the path for me. But I was really excited about this new path, this new commitment. Because for the first time in my life, I became truly committed. Truly committed to being the best version of myself. I was so, I can't tell you, I was incredibly excited. I was going to join the military. A lot of benefits, in my eyes, for doing that. I was going to have the opportunity to learn the discipline to be committed to myself, the discipline to achieve whatever I needed, whatever I wanted. I was going to have the opportunity to see the world. I was going to have the privilege to serve my country, be a part of something bigger than myself, and defend this great nation that we call home, the United States of America. I was going to make my parents proud of their son. But most importantly, I was proud of myself. I was proud of what I was doing. The shift that I made in my life, that commitment to being the best version of myself. The commitment to the present moment. And believe me, when you enlist in the military, you got to be committed because you put your name on that dotted line. You sign it. You sign that commitment. It's a contractual obligation. You know, my younger brother, we're really close, 13 months apart. He's 13 months younger than me. His birthday was last week, March 27th. And at this time in my life, 2004, March 27th, 2004, he just got back from a tour in Iraq. He spent the entire holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, barely making it home to the States for his birthday. That's commitment. That's doing what you've got to do to succeed, whether you want to or not. That's what differs the people who find success and the people that can't seem to find it. Is that successful people do what they have to do every single moment, whether they want to or not. My brother was doing that. And even though he's my younger brother, I looked up to that. That was a Saturday, March 27, 2004, and even though he was on the other side of the United States, we were still connected. I love him so much. The very next day, Sunday, I was out on my way to my parents' house. I was really excited about spending the day with them. They live out by Colossal Cave. I know some of you are familiar with that. And if you've been out there, you've probably driven down Old Spanish Trail, and you know that that road is a long, windy, beautiful road. And like most days in late March in Tucson, it was a gorgeous day. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Sun was shining bright. The mountains were beautiful on the way out to my parents' house. And I was really excited. I was driving fast, a little too fast that day. And I went into a windy turn, and as I'm going into the turn, my car starts to drift into the dirt. And I start spinning. My car's spinning around. And as it spins back around to the street, it clips the side of the road. And I start to roll. My car's flipping end over end. Over end. I'm going across the street, right towards a steep 40-foot hill, an embankment. And I go over the edge. Before I land upside down, though, a Palo Verde tree, a huge, thorny, green Palo Verde tree, shoots through the windshield and impales me in the face. It shattered my jaw, my nose, my cheekbone. I broke my back. It broke my back. T3 through T7 compression fractures. It hit me so hard with such force over my eye that it blew a huge chunk of skin and skull right off, blowing my eyeball out of my head. The damage was so severe that my brain, you could see it. It was exposed to the elements. This young lady, cycling on that Sunday, she heard the crash and then saw the dust cloud when I landed upside down. She knew what to do. She called 911, emergency services. And emergency services really had no clue what they were about to get into. No clue. When they got there, they couldn't believe what they saw. As a matter of fact, they couldn't believe that I was alive. They didn't treat me that way, though. They were treating me like I was DOA. That's dead on arrival. With all that head trauma, with all the hundreds of pieces of glass in my face and in my head and my body, I still have them in me today. With all of that going on, they didn't even put me in a neck brace. They didn't put me on a bodyboard. Nope. To get me up that hill, that 40-foot embankment, they carried me by my hands and feet, like I was dead on arrival. They laid me there on the side of the street, waiting for me to die. I wasn't done yet. I fought for over 75 minutes before I made it to UMC, University Medical Center. And thank God, the most talented, incredible, awesome individuals received me there. They saved my life. They saved my life. I spent 8 weeks at UMC, over 30 surgeries, 2 brain surgeries. That's bad enough. But 19 days later, when I arrived at UMC, things got a little bit worse. The paramedics were actually, they sent my eyeball with me to the hospital, so the doctors were able to save that. I couldn't see out of it. But 19 days later, I lost the sight out of my right eye as well. Now I'm totally blind. I also had 2 infections from that accident. I had one in my sinus cavity, and that eye that they saved, that they put back in my head, that infection was eating that eye from the inside out. It was destroying it. And if you've ever been poked in the eye, you know how sensitive they can be. Just get a little bit of dust in there, and that can be painful. I'm pretty resilient to pain, though. It doesn't bother me. I have a high pain tolerance. But this pain eating my eye, this infection, it was the worst pain that I've ever felt in my entire life. The kind of pain that you can't sleep. The kind of pain that leaves you up, crying, weeping, praying to God for forgiveness, to take it away. Forgiveness for whatever I've done in my life to receive this kind of pain. That infection ended up eating my eye completely. And the doctors took it out of my head. That's why I don't have it today. That was really hard for me. I was blind already. Now you want to take my eye? Isn't it bad enough that I'm blind? Isn't that enough? The other infection that I had, that was on my brain. It's a funny thing, though, differences between your brain and your eyes. Even though they're connected, you don't feel pain on your brain. There's no nerve endings in there to tell you, this hurts. So this infection on my brain, it was killing me. It was killing me. I had piles and piles and piles of pills. I had IV medications that the doctor sent me home with. The IV medication, vancomycin, is a ruthless medication. When that was inside of me, it made my veins feel like they were on fire. My insides burned. And I had to take that 4 times a day. I had 2 IVs that were 1 hour, and I had 2 more IVs that were 2 hours. That's 6 hours a day. I never had more than 5 hours between treatments. Try to get sleep when you got 5 hours and your veins are burning. So I had more brain surgeries to try to clear up that infection. Before you go in for a brain surgery, though, you get an MRI, an imaging scan on your brain, so that the doctors can develop a game plan. They can figure out what's the strategy. How are we going to deal with this? And then after the brain surgery, they have another MRI to see how well they did. So after this 4th brain surgery, this is November 2004, the infection was still there. That's what the MRI said. It's right there. I was tired of feeling the pain. I didn't want to do it anymore. I told my mom, I want to stop taking this vancomycin. I want my veins to stop feeling like they're on fire. And she says, but Tanner, that's your only hope. That's your only hope to live, is the vancomycin. That's the only thing the doctors have. What do you mean you want to stop? I said, Mom, I would rather pass away pain-free than live a life in pain. And there's no guarantee. We've had 4 brain surgeries, months of IV medication. Nothing the doctors are doing are killing this infection. Again, I'd rather die pain-free than live a life full of pain, unknowing of whether I'm going to die or not. So she took this information to my brain surgeon. This is a results-oriented man, very skilled at what he does. And when my mom told him this information, he said, that's his only hope. I don't know, there's nothing else. Can't do anything, that's all we got. So he has to stay on it. And she told him that I was going to come off of it. So we had a conversation, my brain surgeon and I. He was committed. You got to understand something. He was really committed, results-driven. So he was emotionally charged during this conversation. When I told him that I wanted to come off, eventually he asked me, Tanner, are you ready to die? Do you want to die? I said, if it means living like this, yeah, I'm willing to take that risk. He stormed out of the room. He was so pissed off. He was so frustrated and angry. He was so angry. It was almost a yelling match. I don't want you to think poorly of this man, though. He's actually one of the most skilled brain surgeons around. He was so committed to saving my life, he was willing to do anything. 4 times, he had removed my skull and operated on my brain. One mistake, one little slip-up, and I would have never been the same. I might not be able to think clearly like I am right now. I might not be able to stand up on this stage like I am right now. In this present moment, he's committed like I am right now. He was committed. So, I want you guys to make me a promise. I want you to make me a promise right now. I want you guys to be committed like this doctor. If you're ready to take control of your life, if you're ready to be committed to the present moment right now, I encourage you to stand up and say it with me. I'm committed. If you're ready, do it right now. Get up. I'm committed. I'm committed. Say it.
I'm committed. I'm committed.
That's not that committed. That's not that committed. With me. 1, 2, 3.
I'm committed.
Again.
I'm committed.
One more time.
I'm committed.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You see, you've got to forget about the embarrassment. Hey, calm it down. You've got to forget about the embarrassment and what other people think. You've got to believe in yourself and get committed right now. I can tell that some of you are not. I hope that you start getting committed today, because again, that's the fastest way that you're going to achieve success in whatever you want to do in life. So I came off that vancomycin. And the doctor said, we're going to schedule this next brain surgery in February. We'll have the pre-op MRI in January. And we're going to see what happens. Enjoy these holidays with your family. As if to say, as if the doctor was saying, enjoy these holidays because they're probably going to be your last. But I knew that there was another way. I believed in myself. I was using my heart to guide me, and I was using the power of my mind. Commit to yourself. Commit to right now. Forget about what anybody else says. What anybody else says, thinks, or believes about what you can achieve, That's what they think. That's what they believe. It has no bearing on you. There's going to be the naysayers. There's going to be the haters. It's impossible. It can't be done. It's never been done before. You're foolish. You're stupid. You're going to die. How bad do you believe in yourself? How strongly? My mom committed to that journey with me. She was willing to take the risk. So every day we were committed. Every day when we woke up for hours, we would meditate and visualize and pray. In my head, even though I'm totally blind, I would visualize my healthy body, my healthy brain, an infection-free body. I was happy when I did that. We did that every day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And I enjoyed those holidays. Everybody said that I looked good, but no one knew what the doctors had told me. We didn't share that publicly. So in January, we had the MRI, and a week later, we sat down with Dr. Winan to get those results. He's a black and white kind of guy. It is what it is. He wants to see the results. And so when he's looking at these results, my MRI, my mom's with me in that room. It's cold. The table's cold, and she's clenching my hand. Tanner, he said, Tanner, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to tell you. And my mom clenched my hand tighter. She clenched it, bracing for the news that we were about to receive. Tanner, I don't know what to tell you because the results of the MRI are negative. They're negative because there's no infection. There's no infection. I don't know how to tell you this, Tanner, because you're not on any medication. Everything that we've done was not able to heal your brain. But whatever you did in these past couple months, we couldn't achieve in the past 9 months. Everybody in this room has that same power inside of you. Whether you know it or not. I know it. I use the power of my mind to heal my brain, to save my life. And it all started with the commitment of right now. The belief in myself. I knew there was another way. I didn't know how, but I knew it. See, when you get consumed by the details, like how many times you got to go to class, how many more things of homework you got to do, how many more tests you got to take, getting up on time to be to school, when you get consumed by going to work and the troubles that you face there, the co-workers, whatever it is, the struggles, the distractions. If you focus on those, if you think about all that, cumulatively, it's overwhelming. So that's why I made you guys promise, or I asked you to promise, to be committed to the present moment. Because let me tell you something, nothing's easier than taking one step at a time. Being the best step that you can make right now, that's easy. And when you do that, every day, every moment, again, that is how you achieve success faster than you ever thought possible. You may not be disabled, right? You may not have had a car accident. You may not have had an infection that was killing you. You may not have a broken back. Abled or not, it doesn't matter. Everybody in this room has the power to create whatever they want in life. As the old saying goes, you can do anything that you set your mind to. You can heal your body, like I did. you can create success in phenomenal ways, like I'm about to share with you. That was the first time I realized the power of my mind and how important being committed to the moment is. Living day by day, moment by moment, the best that I can right now. That's how you live the dream. If you're ready to live your dreams, you need to start thinking right now. What can you do right now? 2008, I was watching the news, and sports came on. I love sports. I've always played sports. And at the end of the sports segment, they were featuring a blind baseball team. Bob said basketball, which would be kind of funny. I think blind people do that. Well, wouldn't that'd be tough to pull up and shoot a three-pointer, right? You can't see that basket? It's kind of tough. You just throw it to somebody in the stands. Right? Blind baseball. In the news segment, they were talking about in a few weeks, this team was going to the World Series. And it was going to be in Houston, Texas. That was awesome, because that's where I moved to Tucson from. But I had no expectations about doing that. All I expected was to get my butt on that field and get committed to something. I was so excited. And so the next week I was out there. I was playing beat ball, and I loved it. I loved every single minute of it. I was committed to just being the best version of myself on that field. And after a couple practices, people were noticing what was going on. They saw how driven I was. I was different than everybody else. They invited me. They said, Tanner, hey, if you could make it to Houston, we want you to be there. We want you to be with us at the World Series. And you're darn skippy, I made it there. I did what I had to do to get the money, and I bought my ticket. I was there. And I had a lot of success there. That was the first time I made the All-Star team. My first year out. I had no expectations. I just believed in myself, and I was committed to doing the best that I could every single play. Every single time I got up to bat. Every single time I was in the field. I didn't care how many runs we were down or how many runs we were up. I gave 100% every single second. I made that All-Star team. A man noticed my commitment. He noticed how I was different. He saw potential. And he came up to me and he said, Tanner, have you ever thought about throwing the javelin? The javelin? No. As a blind man, I have not thought about throwing a spear as far as I possibly can. I'd be worried about my neighbors. So I started doing it. I'd do anything once. At least try it. Give my all. And it wasn't my digs. I didn't like it. It hurt my back, hurt my shoulder. And if you know anything about the javelin, you know how taxing it is on the body. It's tough. But I put it down. And that's when I had that aha moment. You guys will have many of those in your life. What you do after that moment will determine your level of success. Because right then I realized, if they let blind guys throw spears, what else can we do? And it was that moment right there when I decided, I made the choice that I am a Paralympian. I'd never stepped out onto the track before, but I knew, I believed in myself. I know I can achieve it. I told my mom, and I encourage you guys to do that. When you find that dream, when you find that belief, and you're committed, I want you to tell the world. I want you to tell the universe. Even if no one's listening, I want you guys to sing your song. I told my mom, I'm going to be a Paralympian. 2012, I'm going to be there in London. Watch it. That was her. Oh, okay. Good for you. Thumbs up. She didn't believe that. No one believed it. It was April 2011. I started training. April 2011. And I'm going to be a Paralympian in a year? Started running track. May 2011, I had my first track meet up in Phoenix. Had a pretty good showing. The U.S. National Team Director of High Performance Paralympic Division came up to me after that meet. She told me, National Championships are in 40 days and I want you there. I was honored. I knew that I was one step closer to becoming what I already knew I was, what I believed, with 100% commitment. I am a Paralympian. National championships, maybe I'll share this story in a breakout session, but I had to raise money for 3 people, plus hotel accommodations and travel accommodation, to get to Florida in 40 days. About $2,000. But those are details, my friends. Those are details. Remember what I said about thinking about those details and all the steps that you got to take? When you start focusing on that stuff, it becomes overwhelming, and it will crush you if that's what you become focused on, if that's what if you allow to take your vision off your commitment, your goals, and your dreams. Bad things happen. I showed up in Florida, and that's when I made the U.S. national team for the first time. My second track meet. Talent can only get you so far. It takes commitment. It takes dedication, and it takes belief. You've got to believe in yourself. I was invited to represent the U.S. in the Pan American Games in 2011. I was the champion in the long jump event. Pan American champion, gold medalist in the long jump. That jump, that was the fourth furthest jump that entire year in the world. But those were small potatoes. Those were peanuts. That was just one step closer to me achieving my goal, my dream of being a Paralympian. Next year was the big show, 2012. I was so committed. I was in such belief. I was training every day, and it became too much. Physically, I injured myself. I had a terrible injury. It was so painful that even as simple as this, one step at a time, taking a step was painful. It was my pelvis. It was bad. But that's just physical. Remember, anything you set your mind to, you can achieve. I had already healed my brain with my mind. I knew my pelvis was no big deal. And so I reached out to the United States Olympic Committee, the director of high performance, and I said, you need to get me to the Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista. It's right outside of San Diego. I am ready. But they didn't think so. They didn't believe that. They knew that I was injured. They knew that I was subpar, that I wasn't competition ready. And so they denied my applications. That's plural. Because the first time they told me no, I resubmitted that application. The second time they told me no, I resubmitted that application. And the third time they told me no, I said, if they're not going to accept me, I'm going to move to San Diego, and I'm going to train there. I don't care if I'm not living at the center. I'm going to live my dream. So I reached out to some people. And I got a place in San Diego. I got you. I reached out to some people in San Diego, and I got a place to stay. Guess what happened within 2 weeks of me showing up? I had the largest jump that I've ever recorded. That was the jump that made me eligible to become a U.S. Paralympian. That was the United States National A standard. You know what's so funny? Is that when you jump, they measure that from where you jump. That jump, the furthest jump I'd ever jumped in my entire life, I didn't even make it to the board. I jumped before it. Who knows how far I really jumped? That is the power of your mind. Remember, I did this with so much physical pain, but I had mental strength. I had belief, and I had commitment. So, I'm going to wrap this up by saying, if you're going to take something away from this talk, I hope you take the belief in yourself. No matter what you want to achieve in life, you can do it. Every single person in this room has the most powerful thing in the universe inside of them. The power to move worlds. The power to make dreams a reality. And that's your mind. And when you get committed to using your mind at the highest level that you can achieve, you can do anything. Thank you guys so much. So you guys enjoy these slides up here? There should be plenty of this kind of, I was supposed to put a presentation together for you guys, but this kind of will give you a little picture about my life and the things that I've done in the past few years. I wanted to open it up for question and answer, but I will be around all day. I'll be around at lunch. I'm also going to be doing a breakout session, so please come up. I've got some medals. I've got some things to show you guys how I do it in my life, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.